In the parable discourse of Jesus, there are two parables which are explained. And one of these is the parable of the sower and the seed. The gospel of today contains the explanation or allegorization of the parable of the sower. The interpretation, explanation, or allegorization is different from the parable. In the allegorization, the method changes to the word of God and the way an individual receives the word of God. So the seed becomes the word that is sown. And there are four kinds of responses to this word. The first kind of response is a frivolous response. It is to hear from one ear and let it go out the other. It is a response that is a superficial hearing. The person is not really listening. The person is simply hearing for the sake of hearing, and obviously there will be no depth in that hearing. The second kind of response to the word which is sown is that like sown in rocky ground. The cares of this world, the challenges that we face are those which obstruct the hearing. We are too taken in with the superficiality of the world, with the desire to have more rather than to be more. And so we listen to exhortations. We listen to challenges which make us be a little more selfless. But we continue to be selfish because there is no depth in us, like there is no depth in the rocky ground. The thorns refer to that challenge in our lives and the burden that we sometimes carry, the difficulties that we face, the obstacles and hurdles that come in our way. The various challenges of life obstruct us from listening. We can find God when things are going well for us, when everything is according to plan. But we cannot find God when we are faced with a hurdle, we are faced with an obstacle. And that is why we hear the word of God in the midst of our challenges and we do not listen to that word because the challenges overwhelm us. And finally, there are those who hear the word of God and accept it, assimilate it, and act on that word. Jesus is not talking of four kinds of persons, but each one of us has these four responses at different times in our lives. The point is that we must respond like the last one, namely that we must assimilate the word of God, hear it, listen to it, and act on it also. It is very clear that merely hearing the word of God with our external ears, even assimilating it with our heart, is not enough. If the word is heard and assimilated, action follows. And what is the kind of action that will follow when I hear the word of God? First, my hearing will be an in-depth hearing, not a superficial hearing like the hearing which falls among the path. Second, the challenges of this world, the lure of this world, the money and the riches and the luxury of this world will not take me in. I will learn how to be a little less selfish and a little more selfless. Third, no matter what obstacles come in my life, no matter what hurdles I am faced with, no matter what difficulty and challenges are posed before me, I will overcome. I will be strong. I will be resilient. I will not give up. I will not give in. It is then that, like the seed that falls in good soil, I have heard, I have assimilated, and I have acted. Will you hear, assimilate, and act on the word of God today?